SykoStu just sued Rampage Jackson after being released from hospital, but worked.
He's going to jail for life, for real. Tried to put him on a shirt. I don't even want to joke about it, dude. He genuinely tried to, like, if that's a real video, he really tried to kill that.
Will indeed be arrested for the...
But yeah, I really don't care who the guy is or anything about the person. Someone's unconscious. Stop throwing punches at their dead unconscious head.
And Rampage Jackson, and it's looking like, I mean, according to Doug, it's pretty much a lock that he will be arrested.
SykoStu just dropped a bombshell as he's officially suing Rampage Jackson right after walking out of the hospital. This is raw emotion, a man nearly beaten to death now fighting back in court. SykoStu versus Rampage Jackson isn't just a fight anymore, it's a battle for justice.
I've had, I gave my take on it. You can't defend it. It's horrible what happened. It's fucking terrible. And someone said this to me. They go, how would you feel if that happened to your brother, or if someone did that to Brian or one of your kids when they're older?
SykoStu didn't waste a single moment once he got out of the hospital. Fresh off life-threatening injuries, he went straight to the legal route and filed a lawsuit against Rampage Jackson. And honestly, who could blame him? This wasn't just some heated argument or a scuffle gone wrong. This was a full-blown assault that nearly cost him his life. We're talking about a fractured jaw, a shattered maxilla bone, multiple teeth knocked out, and the kind of head trauma that leaves you unconscious on the floor. That's violent, plain and simple. And now, with this lawsuit, the tables have turned. Raja isn't just fighting for clout anymore, he's fighting to keep his family's reputation from crumbling in front of the entire world.
Fucked up, man. Like, his heart flatlined. Like, you fucked up. And he goes, my bad. Well, excuse me? No.
The night it all went down is still burned into everyone's memory. Raja had SykoStu lifted up like it was a scripted move out of WWE. But instead of protecting his opponent, he slammed him straight down with reckless force. That's when things crossed the line. Instead of stopping, instead of letting up, Raja rained down punch after punch while Stu was already half-conscious. This wasn't a performance, it wasn't entertainment. It was betrayal in its rawest form. In wrestling, there's an unspoken rule. You trust the guy you're in the ring with. You give him your body, knowing he's supposed to keep you safe. Raja shattered that trust in front of everyone watching.
I'm gonna need more than my bad.
He kept punching him 22 times.
Well, here's the question. Let's say those guys didn't pull him off. Then what?
He would have killed him. He'd be dead.
So what do you do?
And it didn't stop there. Z Maloa, who tried to step in and break things up, ended up becoming a target too. He recalled Raja shooting for a sloppy double leg, then punching him in the eye even though he wasn't being hostile. Z didn't hold back in calling Raja what he thought he was, a low-life clown chasing clout by beating on men who weren't even trying to fight back. His words hit hard, but they painted the ugly picture perfectly. Raja wasn't out there competing, he was out there bullying.
And they put these ideas in kids' heads, and they're not fucking...
Now, the tragedy in all of this is how quickly Rampage Jackson's image flipped. Just a few months ago, he was being introduced to fans as the son of a legend, the next generation of Rampage Jackson. Born into martial arts, trained by one of the fiercest fighters the sport has ever seen, Raja had every opportunity to carve his own path. What makes it also heartbreaking is the irony. Raja grew up surrounded by martial arts. He had the training, the knowledge, the resources that most fighters could only dream of. He had his father's name, his father's connections, and a clear road into the fight world. And yet, instead of using those tools to build something great, he chose to throw it all away in a fit of violence. All the opportunities in the world, and still he became the cautionary tale nobody wanted to see.
Based upon the fact that he was trying to,
The lawsuit changes everything. For SykoStu, it's a chance to reclaim some justice after being brutalized in the ring. For Raja, it's the weight of accountability crashing down on his shoulders. And for Rampage Jackson's family, it's a nightmare that threatens to rewrite their legacy. Not as fighters, not as professionals, but as the family tied to an attack that shocked the entire wrestling and MMA world.
Quentin Rampage's son, Raja, took kind of business into his own hands, if you want to even call it that. He assaulted another wrestler, SykoStu, who, according to CBS Sports, is stable but in critical condition after an in-ring attack that he suffered. The video's been shared.
The hospital report on SykoStu was nothing short of horrifying. Doctors laid it out in brutal detail. A fractured maxilla bone, several teeth knocked clean out, and severe head trauma that left him unconscious for hours. His jaw had to be wired shut, and surgeons were already talking about multiple procedures just to get him back to eating solid food again. This wasn't a black eye or a busted lip from a rough night in the ring. This was career-threatening, life-altering damage. The kind of injuries that make people wonder if stepping into that ring was worth it in the first place.
SykoStu is resting since he sustained severe injuries to his head. He's currently conscious and able to talk, but will have difficult recovery ahead. With all the media and social media attention, it's been hard to get back to everyone.
His family's update hit even harder. They confirmed what fans feared. Stu was unconscious after the attack, rushed into surgery, and facing a long, painful recovery road. Months, maybe longer, before he'd even think about performing again. And during that silence, fans all over the world stepped up in the most heartwarming way. Donations started pouring in. Flowers, food, even little gifts piled up, showing just how much the community valued him. Wrestling and MMA may have their rivalries, but when one of their own is in the hospital fighting to recover, people come together.
And, you gotta be careful, one, who you mess with, and two, what kind of example are you as a veteran for inciting a ride with a kid?
But here's the kicker. While the community was showering Stu with love and support, Raja Jackson stayed silent. No apology, no explanation, not even a half-hearted thoughts and prayers post. Legally, maybe his team told him to keep quiet, but morally, it looked terrible.
I don't condone what my son did at all.
And that silence didn't just hurt Raja, it dragged his father, Rampage Jackson, into the firestorm. Rampage found himself in the most awkward position possible, defending his son publicly, while behind the scenes, clearly being torn apart as a father. He showed glimpses of that internal battle in moments that shocked everyone. Fans were spamming him online, some with genuine questions, others crossing the line into racist threats. In one heated exchange, Rampage clapped back at a commenter telling them to respectfully shut the f*** up. That one line went viral, not because people hadn't seen Rampage lose his cool before, but because it showed just how raw and defensive he was about Raja.
But you know what I'm saying? I'm a father, so I gotta have my son's back. But I'm gonna let justice, play out, take its course.
Then came the live stream, and wow, that's where Rampage let the world peek behind the curtain. In a moment that was equal parts heartbreaking and jaw-dropping, he admitted that when it came to saving money for his kids, things looked a little unbalanced. For his kids in Japan, he said he'd been saving up for their college tuition, but for Raja, he admitted he'd set aside money for bail. Bail. That wasn't a joke. That was a father straight up acknowledging that he expected his son to land in trouble with the law. Fans couldn't believe it. Was this tough love? Brutal honesty? Or a desperate father admitting the kind of pain no parent ever wants to say out loud?
No. Excuse me? No. I'm
kept
gonna need more than my back.
He kept punching him for 22 times.
Well, here's the question. Let's say those guys didn't pull him off. Then what?
He would have killed him. He'd be dead.
So what do you do?
And yet, in the same breath, Rampage was still asking for compassion. He apologized to SykoStu's family, making it clear he never wanted to see another fighter's life endangered. But at the same time, he begged people not to judge Raja too harshly. It was a classic case of mixed messages. The father in him wanted to protect his son at all costs, but the fighter in him knew there was no defending what Raja had done.
Reach out and be like, it's okay. They're making it worse by trying to do the same shit by sticking mics in their face and doing this kind of stuff, where as some people know how to handle situations and some people don't.
Then Tony Ferguson stepped in and he went after a different target altogether. He didn't just slam Raja, he took aim at the influencers and media outlets that glorify violence for clicks. Ferguson warned that this constant cycle of promoting chaos was poisoning young fighters' minds, making them believe brutality was the only way to stay relevant. His take stood out because it wasn't just about this one incident. It was about the bigger picture, the environment that might have fueled Raja's meltdown. And finally, Josh Thompson took the most emotional angle of all. Instead of focusing on Raja or even Stu, He said the real sympathy should go to Rampage himself. To watch your son throw away his potential, to see him dragged through headlines as a villain, and to know deep down he may have been on this path for years. That's a kind of heartbreak no father should have to endure. Thompson's words didn't excuse Raja, but they humanized the collateral damage that this kind of scandal leaves behind. From the hospital bed to the locker room debates, this story turned into something bigger than just one night of violence. It became a mirror showing the cracks in trust, the weight of family legacies, and the painful choices fighters and fathers alike are forced to make.
So I put a lot of blame on the promoter, because the promoter should have understood that, look, even though you're
Rampage Jackson wasn't about to let that slide. The man is already juggling lawsuits, fan anger, and his son's future, so when he heard MMA Guru's rant, he snapped. Rampage fired back hard, accusing Guru of racism and of having a long-standing bias against black fighters. And honestly, he wasn't alone in that sentiment. A wave of fans suddenly started looking back at Guru's past takes, connecting dots, and asking if this was just another cheap shot, or if he really did have a pattern of going too far whenever it came to certain fighters.
Any seriousness that someone has just nearly died, you know? The spin of this into kayfabe and like someone has not just nearly been killed in front of everyone.
Guru's credibility took a massive hit in those few days. Some people unsubscribed, calling him out for crossing a line that had nothing to do with fighting skill or critique. Others defended him, saying he was just being Guru. But either way, his words added gasoline to a fire that was already out of control. Instead of the focus being on accountability for Raja's actions, the debate spiraled into accusations of racism, cancel culture, and whether MMA commentary had gone completely off the rails.
Any logical human knows what they saw and knew this guy might not fucking make it. There's going to be some real damage done.
To make matters worse, Rampage himself started receiving racist threats online. People weren't just criticizing Raja anymore. They were attacking the Jackson family as a whole, dragging race into the conversation in the ugliest ways possible. Rampage went public about it, and you could see the exhaustion in his face. He's trying to hold his son together, manage his legacy, defend against a lawsuit, and now his family's safety is being threatened by anonymous trolls hiding behind keyboards. It was the perfect storm of violence in the ring spilling into violence online, and it showed just how ugly fandoms can get when controversy takes center stage.
Woken up, but he's not doing okay. It looks like he gave this guy several heavy concussions and probably a lot of brain swelling.
But while the internet argued about words, the legal system had a much harsher reality waiting for Raja. Tim Welch, a respected MMA coach, broke it down in chilling detail. If Raja knowingly struck an unconscious man, which multiple witnesses say he did, prosecutors could come after him with attempted murder charges. Not assault, not battery. Attempted murder. Think about that for a second. A young fighter who was once hyped as the future of his father's legacy suddenly staring down the possibility of spending years behind bars. Welch's words weren't just speculation either. Legally, there's precedent. Courts have thrown the book at athletes before when they cross the line between sport and outright brutality.
I can't talk about any details and stuff like that. I can't really go into nothing. I hope y'all can respect that. You know what I'm saying? I can't.
And that's not even counting the lawsuit. SykoStu filing in civil court means Raja and Rampage's family are under double pressure. Criminal charges could land Raja in jail, while the lawsuit could drain the Jacksons financially. Rampage himself admitted he had good lawyers, but even the best legal team can't erase video evidence, eyewitness testimony, and a victim who's willing to fight for justice. Every day this drags on, the weight grows heavier on the family, and fans are quick to remind Rampage that money doesn't buy morality.
Dumb animal with no impulse control, bro. Be a human being, yeah? Don't try and kill someone after slamming them on their head.
The public demand for accountability has been relentless. Everywhere you look, from Twitter threads to podcast debates, fans are saying the same thing. Raja should be behind bars. For many, this isn't just about one fight gone wrong. It's about setting a precedent. If someone can brutalize an opponent, leave him in a hospital bed, and walk away with nothing more than a suspension or a fine, what does that say about the fight world? What does it say about privilege, about responsibility, about how far we're willing to let people go in the name of entertainment? And that's where the bigger picture comes into play. This scandal isn't just about Raja Jackson or SykoStu. It's about the fight culture itself. Where is the line between performance and violence? Where does accountability begin when an athlete crosses that line? And how much of this comes down to privilege, legacy, and the blind spots people have when a famous last name is attached? These questions aren't going away anytime soon, and the lawsuit is forcing everyone to confront them head on.
His dad is bigger than him. No matter what he accomplishes, his dad. It's just like when you're going out with a star. You're going out with a star, you know.
As for what happens next, the outlook is grim. Raja's reputation is already shattered. He's gone from the next Rampage to a walking headline of wasted potential. Even if he avoids prison, his fight career might never recover. Promoters don't want the baggage, sponsors won't touch him, and fans who once wanted to see him rise are now calling for his downfall.
I actually know for sure, but it sounds like he's awake and stable, but still, in critical condition. It sounds like there's some broken bones in his face, and he's dealing with some of that stuff.
SykoStu, meanwhile, faces a long recovery. Doctors say months before he's back to full strength, if ever. But what makes his case powerful is that he refuses to be silenced. Filing that lawsuit was his way of saying, "You may have broken my bones, but you're not breaking me." And the support he's receiving from the community only strengthens his voice in this battle.
SykoStu and his family had to see that.
Then there's Rampage. The man stuck in the most heartbreaking position of all. He's a legend, someone who built a career on strength, toughness, and respect. But now, his legacy is being rewritten in real time, tied to the actions of his son. Every time he speaks, every time he defends Raja, the world is watching, judging, and waiting to see where he stands. The court proceedings are still ahead. The community fallout hasn't even peaked yet. And the question hanging over everything is simple but brutal. Is forgiveness even possible? Can Raja rebuild what he's destroyed? Can Rampage separate his legacy from his son's choices? And can SykoStu truly heal, not just physically but mentally, from being betrayed in the ring? Those answers are coming, and when they do, this story won't just end as another fight scandal. It'll be remembered as one of the most shocking cautionary tales the fight world has ever seen. Like this video and subscribe to the channel for more updates.